Do you ever notice how some women act around you, subtle, almost like they're hiding something, but you feel it, that undeniable pull, that magnetic tension in the air that tells you she's thinking about more than just friendship? The thing most men never realize is this: when a woman truly wants to sleep with you, she will do things that are almost invisible to the untrained eye. She won't be loud about it. She won't be obvious. She'll act in ways designed to protect her image, to avoid being judged, to keep herself from appearing easy, because society has conditioned her to hide desire. But if you know what to look for, these signals are crystal clear, and they can change the way you understand attraction forever. The first sign is her attention. Not the kind of attention you get from casual flirting. No, this is deeper. It's intentional, focused, and almost surgical. She'll remember small details about you, things you said in passing, things that nobody else would notice. Your favorite drink, the song that always gets stuck in your head, the way you absent-mindedly tap your fingers when you're nervous. She stores it all. And then she brings it up at just the right moment, as if to say, I'm paying attention to you in ways nobody else does. It's subtle, yes, but powerful. A woman who wants you will invest her mental energy in understanding you, dissecting your moods, learning the patterns that make you tick. And she does it without showing the world that she's doing it, because that would make her vulnerable, and vulnerability is a dangerous thing when she wants to appear composed. Then there's touch. Not overt, not desperate. She'll find ways to brush your arm, linger closer than necessary, laugh while her hand accidentally grazes yours. She's testing the boundaries, mapping the distance between you two. It's instinctual, almost primal, and it's designed to see if you'll lean in or pull away. Men often miss this, dismissing it as accidental. But when you start noticing the pattern, the repeated closeness, the deliberate brushing, this is her body speaking before words can. Next is the way she communicates. Her messages aren't just about logistics or small talk. There's a rhythm to her texts, an emotional cadence that shows she's thinking of you outside the moment. Maybe she sends a song lyric she knows you'd relate to, a subtle joke, or a picture that reminds her of a conversation you had. These are breadcrumbs. They are her way of saying, I want you to feel me, even when we're apart. And if she's careful to keep it private, to avoid looking forward or available in front of her friends, that's your signal. She's balancing desire with discretion, and the ones who do this are serious. Finally, watch her eyes. Most men overlook the eyes because they focus on smiles, laughs, or body. But the eyes are telling. A woman who wants you will look at you in a way that holds attention longer than necessary. There's a flicker of curiosity, a flash of mischief, sometimes almost a challenge. And in those moments, if you're awake enough to see it, you feel the weight of what she's not saying aloud. I want you, but I want to be sure you're aware without making it obvious. It's an invisible tension, a silent invitation wrapped in control and subtlety. These are the invisible fingerprints of attraction, hidden in plain sight. If you can see them, you'll realize she's already drawn a map to what she wants. Most men never notice these patterns because they're looking for fireworks instead of whispers. But whispers are more dangerous. They burn quietly, and if you listen closely, they can consume the room. Beyond attention, touch, and subtle communication, there's a level of strategy in how she positions herself around you, physically, socially, emotionally. A woman who wants you but doesn't want to seem easy will carefully calibrate her presence. She won't throw herself at you openly. Instead, she will show up in your life in ways that feel natural, effortless, almost coincidental, but they are anything but. She might find reasons to be near you, show up where she knows you'll be, laugh at moments when the world wouldn't notice. It's a dance of timing and perception, a silent negotiation between desire and decorum. Watch how she uses her energy. She won't drain herself trying to impress. Instead, she'll engage you with intrigue. There's a difference between someone trying to win your attention and someone trying to make you notice their absence when they're not there. She'll create curiosity, a pull, by showing glimpses of herself, just enough to spark your interest, but never everything at once. That's the art of restraint, and men rarely recognize it. Restraint is seductive because it signals control, intelligence, and awareness of social dynamics. A woman who controls her presence controls your anticipation. Notice also her laughter, the kind that lingers just a fraction too long, the kind that masks something deeper. This is her way of inviting intimacy without giving herself away. A genuine, effortless laugh can feel innocent, but when paired with subtle glances, lingering proximity, or a playful tease, it becomes an unspoken declaration. She's testing your response, gauging your receptivity, all while maintaining the shield of humor. This is a masterful psychological move, making you feel comfortable while awakening desire. She will also manage her vulnerability carefully. You might catch a fleeting glimpse of softness, a moment where she confides in you, shares a subtle insecurity, but it's never full exposure. She's letting you in just enough to spark connection, to make you feel trusted, but she keeps the door partially closed. Why? Because desire is powerful, and power in attraction is about balance. If she opens completely, she risks appearing easy. If she never opens, you'll never feel the pull. She navigates this tightrope with finesse. Men who recognize this are rare. Men who ignore it remain oblivious. Then there's the art of selective attention. She won't give herself to everyone, but she will show patterns with you. Her focus is deliberate. She prioritizes your presence, your reactions, your subtle needs. If she texts at times when she knows you're likely thinking of her, drops hints that only you can decode, or recalls private jokes you shared, it's a sign she's weaving herself into your mental landscape. She's making herself memorable, but cautiously, strategically, without appearing desperate. Her body language is another silent instrument. A slight lean when you speak, mirroring your gestures, feet angled toward you, hair flicks, subconscious alignment, all of it is instinctual chemistry. She's aware of but doesn't overtly flaunt. Women are biologically attuned to communicate desire subtly. These micro-movements are signals designed to test your awareness, your confidence, your ability to read nuance. She wants a man who can recognize the whispers before they become words. Finally, notice how she balances teasing with sincerity. She might challenge you intellectually, poke fun at your quirks, or flirt through banter, but always with boundaries intact. This duality, playfulness and seriousness, is her way of signaling attraction while maintaining control over perception. She's teaching you the unspoken rule. Desire is a game of awareness, not brute force. If you're awake enough to notice, you'll see the patterns, understand the signals, and recognize her intent without her ever needing to say a word. The women who do this aren't careless. They're intentional, psychologically sophisticated, aware of both their desire and how the world judges it. The truth most men never grasp is this. When a woman wants you, she's already testing you long before any words are spoken. Every gesture, every glance, every calculated pause carries meaning. By now, you might be starting to see a pattern, a code hidden in behavior, touch, glances, and subtle cues. But there's a level beyond attention, teasing, and restraint. This is where women step into full psychological strategy, crafting signals that speak to desire while carefully protecting their image. These are the behaviors most men overlook entirely because they're not loud, they're not desperate, they're deliberate, controlled, and magnetic. One of the clearest signs is the way she manages her availability. She doesn't answer every text immediately. She doesn't drop everything to be near you. And yet, when she does respond, when she chooses to show up, there's weight behind it. Men often misread this as indifference or gamesmanship, but it's far more subtle. She's giving you her attention as a gift, not an entitlement. She's creating scarcity, building anticipation. Scarcity, when combined with subtle intimacy, is one of the most powerful triggers of desire. The woman who does this is signaling, I want you, but I value myself too much to be taken for granted. And if you can recognize that, you'll understand the depth of her attraction before she ever says a word. Then there's the way she mirrors your energy, almost imperceptibly. She leans when you lean. She laughs when you laugh. She adjusts her tone and tempo to match yours. But it's never a blatant copy. It's a reflection designed to create unconscious alignment. This is chemistry in motion, a silent invitation that speaks directly to your instincts. Men who notice it often feel drawn in without realizing why. Men who ignore it remain blind to her intent. Another sign is her subtle prioritization of your space in her life. She may go out of her way to include you in plans, reference conversations you had in passing, or remember things that matter to you personally. She doesn't announce it, she doesn't brag about it, but her actions consistently signal that you occupy a unique mental and emotional space. It's not about manipulation, it's about conscious signaling. She's showing desire without exposing vulnerability, giving proof without risk, and the ones who can see this are immediately aware of her intent. Finally, there's the art of selective disclosure. She shares parts of herself with you that she doesn't reveal to anyone else. Maybe it's a story from her past, a fleeting insecurity, or a secret opinion. These moments are brief, carefully chosen, and heavily loaded with meaning. Every time she lets something slip, it's a test. Will you notice? Will you respond? Will you reciprocate emotionally? Without overstepping, her restraint is as important as her openness. It's a signal that she wants closeness, but only with someone who can handle it. All of this, the attention, the energy, the micro-movements, the selective openness, is orchestrated to create desire that feels organic. She wants to be wanted, but she doesn't want to be seen as easy. That's why her signals are layered, subtle, and often invisible to men who aren't paying close attention. Men are trained to chase what's obvious, but desire often hides in nuance. If you can read the nuance, you'll understand not just that she wants you, but how deeply and deliberately she's chosen you among everyone else. And here's the truth that most men never admit. When a woman does all of this, she's already made her decision. Her attraction isn't casual. Every look, every touch, every carefully timed gesture is part of a language she expects you to decode. If you miss it, the opportunity passes quietly. If you recognize it, you've unlocked a level of intimacy and awareness few men ever experience. This is the point where subtlety becomes a weapon, where restraint signals intention, and where desire hides behind mastery of perception. The woman who wants you without seeming easy is teaching a lesson about patience, observation, and understanding human behavior at its most primal. She's showing that attraction is not about shouting your wants, it's about being seen, noticed, and chosen. Now we move into the territory most men never truly understand, the emotional gravity a woman creates when she wants you, but doesn't want to appear easy. This isn't random, it's deliberate. It's a carefully calibrated tension that pulls you in, makes your mind spin, and ignites desire you didn't even know was waiting to be triggered. She uses emotions like a painter uses color. Every brushstroke is intentional, every shadow purposeful. And the men who see it recognize the depth of her craft before a single word is spoken. One of her most powerful tools is emotional contrast. She will oscillate between warmth and mystery, openness and subtle distance. One moment she's fully engaged, laughing at your jokes, leaning in as if the world has shrunk to just the two of you. The next, she retreats slightly, her attention shifting, her presence just out of reach. This push and pull is not cruelty, it's magnetism. Men often mistake it for games, but the truth is far more sophisticated. She's teaching your mind to chase, to anticipate, to crave her presence without ever needing to beg. Emotional contrast sparks tension, and tension drives desire. Then there's the deliberate planting of memory triggers. She knows that desire isn't just about the present, it's about what lingers in your mind. Maybe she smells a certain way, laughs in a unique tone, or shares a story you'll think about for days. These are cues designed to embed her in your subconscious. You remember her when she's gone. You think of her when she's not around. That's no accident. She wants you thinking of her long before she allows you to act on desire. Men who ignore these cues never realize how much of her influence is psychological rather than physical. She also tests boundaries emotionally. She'll probe with subtle questions, share fleeting vulnerabilities, or present scenarios that hint at intimacy without committing fully. These are tests, not manipulations. They measure your awareness, your empathy, your ability to respond without overstepping. A man who passes these unspoken tests earns her trust, and once trust is earned, desire is free to flow. Miss the cues, and she pulls back, disappearing quietly, leaving men confused and frustrated. But recognize them, and you find yourself in a rare zone of mutual understanding, where attraction becomes electric. Another signal is the controlled release of attention. She won't give everything all at once. Her smiles, touches, and messages are measured, each one more valuable because it's not unlimited. She's creating a psychological economy where her presence is a resource, and the more carefully she dispenses it, the more it's desired. Men who chase without noticing the allocation miss the dynamic entirely. But men who understand it see a woman who values herself and her time, and who uses desire as a strategic tool. Finally, pay attention to her ability to make you feel both challenged and validated simultaneously. She'll tease, flirt, and challenge your confidence, but also affirm you subtly, making you feel competent, respected, and desired. This duality is intoxicating. It creates a mental loop that keeps you engaged, curious, and emotionally invested. She's not being cruel, she's being intentional. She's teaching you that desire isn't just physical, it's intellectual, emotional, and strategic. Every gesture, every word, every subtle behavioral choice is designed to create tension, curiosity, and longing, all while protecting her own image. A woman who wants you without appearing easy understands that attraction is a dance of psychology, restraint, and emotional influence. She doesn't need to shout. She simply needs to exist in ways that make you notice, respond, and want more. And if you can recognize these emotional signals, you'll understand the truth most men never see. Desire is more often whispered than shouted, and the most powerful attractions are those you decode before they're ever spoken aloud. Now that you've seen the hidden patterns, the subtle gestures, and the invisible signals, it's time to understand the full picture. A woman who wants to sleep with you, but doesn't want to seem easy, is walking a careful tightrope between desire and perception. Every smile, every glance, every calculated pause is part of a psychological language she expects you to decode. The truth most men miss is that she's already chosen you before any words are spoken. She's simply waiting to see if you're aware enough to notice. The ultimate marker of desire is intentional subtlety. She will never rush the process, never appear desperate, never give herself fully without testing the waters first. Instead, she layers signals like a painter, layering color, attention, touch, emotional contrast, selective disclosure, scarcity. If you learn to read these layers, you can navigate the dance of attraction with clarity rather than confusion. But if you ignore them, you remain blind, chasing what feels obvious while missing what is true. Her behavior is never random. She creates moments that are just intimate enough to ignite tension, just playful enough to spark curiosity, and just distant enough to make you think about her when she's not there. Men often mistake this as mixed signals or games, but it's far more powerful than that. It's a psychological pull designed to awaken desire without compromising dignity. A woman who can do this is skilled, deliberate, and intentional. She's protecting herself while drawing you in, teaching a lesson about patience, awareness, and the art of attraction that most men never learn. Notice how she combines all of these signals at once. Her presence in your life is calculated but natural. She invests attention in ways that matter, tests boundaries without pressure, and creates emotional tension that lingers in your mind. Every interaction, no matter how small, carries meaning. And the beauty of it is that she doesn't need to say a word. Her actions, gestures, and energy speak louder than anything verbal. This is why men who understand these patterns stand out. They see beyond the surface, recognize intention, and respond in ways that honor both desire and respect. So here's the challenge, and it's personal. I want you to reflect on the last woman who truly drew your attention, the one who made your mind spin without doing anything overtly sexual. Think carefully about her behavior, her attention, her subtle touches, her emotional shifts, her scarcity, her teasing, her controlled vulnerability. If you analyze these patterns, what is the one unmistakable signal she gave that revealed desire without ever saying it aloud? Write it in the comments. I want to see how tuned in you are. This is not just theory, it's about awareness, perception, and understanding the hidden language of attraction. If this video helped you see the signals you've been missing, like it, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to hear the truth about female psychology and desire. Every comment, every share, every like is part of a conversation that sharpens your understanding and trains your mind to notice what most men overlook. Remember, attraction is rarely about the obvious. It's about the whispers, the gestures, and the hidden patterns that only the observant can decode. So here's the final question for you. Think of the last woman who subtly pulled you in without giving herself away. What single action told you she wanted more? Even if she acted like she didn't, drop your answer in the comments. Share this with a friend who needs to see it. And pay attention. Desire speaks quietly, but those who listen can hear it clearly.